Hey, salutations, humans! So I was like, I should make an Among Us video for Halloween, but I realized that making a spacesuit would take far more time than I'd like to put in right now. But don't misinterpret that, I will make a full purple spacesuit one day. Just not now. So instead, I'm gonna show you how to make Halloween hats for your Among Us cosplay. Also, stay till the end for a bonus hat. You will regret it. So first I made a template that looks like this, then I traced and cut it out of cardboard. Then I was gonna paint it, but I realized the cardboard's already the color I needed, so that was nice because I dislike painting things. I then wrapped the bottom part of the cardboard thing on the headband like you see me do here, and I taped it in place. I slid them off the headband and painted the back and edges with squid ink. Just kidding, I'm too scared to kill a squid myself. Then I drew on the extra lines with black marker and slid the wings back onto the headband. Unfortunately for me, it was a bit, extremely floppy, so to fix that I just rolled up some tape, stuffed it inside, cut it, and slid it back onto the headband. Now it's not that floppy anymore. When I put it on, I realized I really resemble a bat because of the wings and because wearing this mask ensures that I can't see anything. So at first I was gonna make it a joke by being like, just get a trick-or-treating bucket and... But when I asked a bunch of humans that they like the pumpkin, so I realized that I should probably take this more seriously, but you know, this is still an option. So first, measure and decide how puffy you want it. Mine is... I forgot, but I'm gonna guess and say 28 inches. Make a pattern, then cut out like 5 to 10 of these shapes depending on your patience, and you should use preferably stretchy fabric, but this is the only orange fabric I have. I ended up cutting out 7 pumpkin epidermis pieces. Take 2 of those pieces, put them right sides together, and sew or glue along the curve, but stop around a few centimeters from the point like the line shows here. After that, take your next piece and just basically do the same thing, align, then sew or glue. Do that with whatever amount of pieces you cut out. When you're done sewing them all together, take the 2 ends and just sew them together as well. Once you're done, cut off the extra fabric and cut slits along the curve because it will help in a way that I don't feel like explaining right now. Now you can flip it right side out, and if you want, you can iron it and cut the spikes shorter as well like I did. To make the stem, I just cut out a bunch of rectangles, stack them together, and sew them to the top. And for the eyes, I just cut out and stuck 2 triangles on. When you put on your pumpkin, I recommend having something fluffy underneath, like a hat, a towel, human hair. The hair doesn't even have to be yours. A lot of you guys like this and I agree. I like it too. It's very cute. Okay, to be honest, just don't listen to anything I say for this first part because midway through I realized that I made a big mistake. So basically I used a hat to make a pattern, then I traced a cat ear, the main big mistake. I cut out the pattern piece and traced it onto fabric. I cut out 4 pieces because I did it in quarters. I put them right sides together, sewed them together, and then I sewed everything else together. That's a lot of togethers for one sentence. I flipped it right side out and tried it on, and that's when I realized that I made a massive mistake. A big blunder. An enormous error. It looks like Batman. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's supposed to be a cute cat. What's this? So I flipped it back inside out, and okay, so what you're actually supposed to do is just cut out rectangles, then sew normally on the 3 sides. Cut off the extra fabric like the cat ears you put so much effort into for nothing, and the bottom edge as well. Then flip your hat right side out. And for the eyes, I just cut out 2 orange circles and put them on. So to finish it off, either you can cut it off, hem it, or if you're like me and just really tired at this point, flip it under and say, I'll deal with it later. I know this video is mostly focusing on Halloween hats, but let's include more so I can increase watch time. So I was supposed to use paper, but I couldn't find any in the color I needed, so I used pink felt. I cut out a flower shape, then for the shading, I simply used pink marker. And for the flower yolk, yellow dot in the middle, I took a piece of paper and colored it with a yellow marker. Then I traced a circle, cut it out, and stuck it on with double-sided tape. Then I wanted to add a thick outline, but I didn't have black paper. So I colored a piece of paper with a marker in the shape of the flower, and I know it looks like I'm doing a really bad job, but wow, look at that transition. Then you can do this in whatever order you want, but I just stuck on the flower and then I cut out the black part around it. And as you can so very clearly see, I only managed to get 3 centimeters in before getting too nervous and cutting it off camera. Anyway, I think the flower looks really cool. Now for the leafy part, I took some green ribbon and cut it in half, and who am I kidding, just to cut a strip of green and go. There's no need to make this unnecessarily complicated ribbon vine thing. But if you are as unnecessarily extra as me, just fold the pieces over each other like I show here. You know, kind of like the paper worm thing you learned in kindergarten or something. Actually, speaking of worms, a while ago I accidentally stepped on a worm and wow, this clip's taking a long time. Alas, when you're finally done, secure the edges, then stick the 2 ends together. Stick on the flower and you're done! Fun fact, my family's gonna dress up as Among Us for Halloween, and this is gonna be my sister. Oh, I missed a piece of hair! Get a piece of yellow paper, draw a thumb on it, and tape it to your face. Wow, how profound. Also, I love how this hat describes exactly how I look in this shot. At first, I was gonna use this brown bag the school clinic gave to me 2 years ago for just in case I hyperventilate again, but I've come to realize that I've grown sentimentally attached to it, and more importantly, it's too small! By the way, I love this hat so much, it's wonderful. So instead, I took a piece of brown pattern paper and measured and marked outline stuff because rulers are fun sometimes, but it's not really necessary as long as you can fit it on your head. I cut out the piece to the size I needed, and then I folded and glued it together to make this. I then creased the sides to make it more boxy and paper bag looking. Then I folded over the bottom to do this. Honestly, I'm not sure how to explain, but the nice part is that I found this diagram online, which, as I always say, you should trust more than me. After gluing down the bottom part, I flattened the bag and cut the height to look good. I mean, of course I would cut it to look good. Why would I cut it to look bad? Then lastly, I cut out the eyes and drew on the mouth. Wow, look at that transition. So for the probably 0% of you who have read my channel description, then you would know that I would much rather be a Lego YouTuber if I could afford it. But for now, I do have a Lego set, so I'm gonna follow my dreams and force you to watch this arbitrary Lego review. I have Lego dots in purple, of course, that's black. I have Lego dots in purple, of course, and black, which is space-themed, great for Among Us. And as you can see, I opened it already because I have no self-control when it comes to Lego. So the bracelets come on cardboard for you to use in craft projects. And an overwhelming amount of 1x1 corner tiles with a bunch of cool prints like stars and unicorn hair and stars and the Saturn. Or it could also be Uranus since the ring is really thin. Most of them have really nice metallic printing, and I'm surprised that you haven't clicked off this video yet. And there are salmon pieces, and these are my first salmon Lego pieces. And best of the not best least, there are iridescent studs and they have a really cool shape. The bracelets are floppy as they should be, and because they were made for tiny children, it fits me perfectly. Here are the designs I spent far too much time on, featuring the cat stud I took from my sister. Overall, 10 out of 10. Wait, what do you mean I'm only saying that because I got it on sale? I already did this in the last video for Bakugo, but here it is again. Cut out the shapes, and I'm gonna use pink instead of gray because I plan to use it for something else this time. Actually, I'm using it for cat/Neko nezuko. Nekozuko, I'm sorry. After gluing and shaping the ears, I sewed it to this other type of headband so that I can actually put it over my hood. You guys really do want me to suffer, don't you? So first I made some pattern pieces, but there's also plague mask patterns online too. I made a mock-up out of paper, but that's not necessary. Then I traced and cut the pieces out of cardboard. You should have a couple pieces that look something like this, depending on your pattern. To assemble them, you could use hot glue or some kind of other strong glue, or you could use masking tape like me. I basically did the same concept as the 02 video where I explain it on a smaller scale and more clearly. But essentially, they tax us relentlessly. I mean, basically you tape the two pieces along the edge and then cut out notches and fold over the tape pieces on both sides. When you're done, you can open it and it should look something like this. Then I took the bottom piece and taped it on the same way, but this time I chose to do it in smaller segments because it was easier and flatter this way. Wow, I never realized how long I accidentally made this clip. I made a Hamilton reference a while ago. Would you like me to rap Lafayette's part of Guns and Ships for— oh, look, we're done. When you're finally done taping that one side, have fun doing the other side as well. When you're finally done, this is what the structure should look like. Then you can bend the cardboard a bunch so it fits your face better, but it kinda became a waste of time. Then either marker or paint the edges black. For the rest of the mask, you can either also paint it or color it or cover it with paper or fabric because I ran out of black paper. I simply cut out the pieces, put glue on the cardboard, and glued the fabric on. Then to do the dots, I simply used the marker to draw it on off camera because, say it with me folks, I'm nervous doing anything on camera. Almost forgot to show you, but I added strips of fabric and taped them inside so I could actually find a way to put it on my face. Tie the mask around your face and now you have a perfect face shield and mask combo for when you're going out. I genuinely hope this looks good because I can't see anything. Wow, I'm surprised you haven't leafed this video yet. You're probably leafing because of that. Make a leaf shape, draw it onto cardboard, and sketch on a stem like I show here. Cut it out and use it as a template to trace a second leaf thingy. Then, watch this cool transition that signifies that you should cover or paint it with green. Tape the stems together, then I cut a strip of scratch paper and rolled it around the stem and then made the final layer green. I colored the edges with a black marker because outline, then I used some other markers to draw on the design. To attach it to my head, I took a paper clip and bent the middle part, then I cut off the extra wire because I'd rather not be bleeding from my head. I inserted it into the stem, but when I tried it on, it kept falling over, so I was like, what if I add another paper clip perpendicular? And I know it falls over on the floor, but I promise it stands up on my head. Speaking of that, to attach it, I used some double-sided tape on the bottom. When I tried it on, I realized the stem was too long, so I took out the paper clip and cut off the extra. Then, I kid you not, just 5 minutes after, I spilled coffee on it, so I had to make a new one! Anyway, I made a new one and put it on. Did I include the witch hat just so I wouldn't have to do extra work? Yes. Some humans did say they want it, so here's an overly time-lapse summary. A more comprehensive, slightly better tutorial is also in the BNHA video. Can't believe I'm finally done, I'm so sweaty. I really want to make another Among Us video. Wow, I can't believe you actually stayed. Well, here's the bonus hat.